Only $250. These certificates go fast, and when they're gone, they're gone. For details, log on to the Discount Shopping Club at 989theanswer.com.
Welcome in. Just about ready to start a Monday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. Thanks for joining us. Well, they have tried at every turn to diminish him, to denigrate him, certainly to defeat him in the upcoming presidential election. And yet there are some people with Democratic loyalties who will not be satisfied until Donald Trump is dead. That much is apparent in the wake of a second assassination attempt on the former and hopefully future president Sunday afternoon outside his golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida. That is where we begin, excuse me, a Monday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. They have in custody a 58-year-old man whose background is somewhat in question, and it lives in Hawaii, but he votes in North Carolina, which, of course, that's interesting in and of itself. But he's definitely a Democrat, and if you're looking on Twitter for confirmation of that on Time Magazine site, it says here, the suspect arrested in relation to the shooting at Trump's golf course in Florida on Sunday has been identified as Ryan Ruth, a 58-year-old with an unclear political ideology, a criminal record, and a history of praising Iran and supporting Ukraine. His unclear political ideology includes a litany of donations to Act Blue, which is a Democratic organization. Unclear political ideology. I mean, come on. You know this will not be portrayed. It's just the media hates this for one reason and one reason only, because it brings back up the July 13th assassination attempt on Trump's life in Butler, Pennsylvania. They had pretty much memory hold that. They didn't want you to remember it. They didn't want you to even think about it. In the aftermath of that attempt, where a crazed 20-year-old got within 150 yards of Trump at a rally because 150 yards was outside the perimeter, remember? They tried to tell us that, well, we're not sure what his motivations are. We're still checking that out. And then they cremated his body before the investigation could be complete. And they won't release the details of that probe into the Secret Service failures in Butler, Pennsylvania, until December. Which, that's convenient, right? Why would we wait? Oh, well, we wait because, I'll just let Democratic Senator Richard Blumenthal explain to you why it's important that we wait to release the details of the first assassination attempt and the failures of the Secret Service. Let Richard Blumenthal tell you why it's important to wait until December to release those results.
I think the American people are going to be shocked, astonished, and appalled by what we will report to them about the failures by the Secret Service. But I think they also ought to be appalled and astonished by the failure of the Department of Homeland Security to be more forthcoming, to be as candid and frank as it should be to them in terms of providing information.
Shocked, astonished, and appalled. That's what a Democratic senator says you're going to be when you find out about the failures of the Secret Service in the first assassination attempt. The Secret Service yesterday allowed a shooter to get within 400 yards of Donald Trump with a AK-47 rifle equipped with a scope and build a shooter's nest, a hiding place in a hedge next to a chain link fence that surrounds the golf course. Now, the Secret Service apparently justifies allowing this guy to get this close by saying, well, Trump's not the president. And so we can't give him the same protection that we give the president or the first lady or Kamala Harris. And if that were true, it would be a dumb decision in light of the fact that there's already been a demonstrated first attempt on his life. but it is not true. You can find online pictures of what the security is like outside golf clubs when Barack Obama plays, where cars are searched even if they're just driving by, not even if they're going into the club. It is increasingly clear that the Secret Service is willing to do whatever it can do cosmetically to make it look like they are serious about protecting Donald Trump. And in fact, some of the individual agents may be very serious about protecting Donald Trump. The one who confronted the shooter yesterday and fired at the shooter, that guy did a great job. But is it enough to just send a Secret Service team one hole ahead of the president when he's on a golf club? And if you've ever played golf, you know that golf courses, even private ones like Donald Trump's golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida, are located very oftentimes in residential neighborhoods, and that presents a danger to anyone like President Trump who likes to get out and be active and do things and not put his life on hold because other people are trying to take it. So after the first attempt on Donald Trump's life, we were told that we needed to tone down the rhetoric. And then Joe Biden went on with Lester Holt on NBC and reiterated why Biden decided to run for president in the first place.
I wasn't going to run again because I lost my son. I didn't. And until I watched what happened in Charlottesville, Virginia. Those folks come out of the woods with torches, carrying swastikas, singing the same Nazi bios, accompanied by this Ku Klux Klan, and a young woman was killed. And I was a bystander. And the then president was asked, what do you think? He said, they're very fine people on both sides. Not fine people on both sides. No excuse, zero.
This lie has been debunked multiple times by even the most liberal left-wing fact checkers, yet it was repeated in the presidential debate by Kamala Harris, who doubled it up with the lie that if Donald Trump is not elected, he has said there will be a bloodbath. Donald Trump said something to that effect, but not even close to that in impact or in truth, at a rally in Dayton, Ohio at the airport. What he said was, if we allow Chinese-made cars to be imported into the United States from Mexico without a tariff on them, it will be a bloodbath for the American auto industry. But Kamala Harris didn't lend any texture to that, nor have people in her party refused to back off calling Trump an existential threat, a fascist, a dictator on day one, a threat to democracy. And when you plant these kinds of seeds in the minds of deranged individuals or partisans, their minds start to tell them, I'd be a hero if I took this guy out. I could save America if I took this guy out. And yet, is there any regret on the Democratic side of the aisle? No, of course not. Is there any self-awareness? Is there any desire to back off at all in doing this? No, of course not. But if President Trump and J.D. Vance talk about Springfield, Ohio, and bring up that residents, people who've lived in Springfield for 40 to 50 years, talk about the impact of Haitians' illegal entrance into the United States through a Biden program that flew them over the border and into the United States to give them temporary, also known as permanent, status in the U.S. If J.D. Vance and Donald Trump cite things that residents of Springfield have said about their pets disappearing or their pets being eaten or their pets being sacrificed to these Haitian voodoo gods, even if those are actually things that residents have said, though perhaps inaccurate, perhaps not inaccurate, if Vance and Trump simply repeat what people are saying, then Vance and Trump are responsible for the people who are calling in bomb threats in Springfield that closed schools late last week, and today I believe have classes at Wittenberg University online only. Vance and Trump are responsible for that. But no Democrat, not Harris, not Biden, not any commentator on any of the left-wing networks, which is almost every network, none of them are responsible for anything that they have said, all the histrionics and all the exaggerations about Donald Trump. None of them have played a role in that at all. Listen to how Lester Holt and NBC reported this assassination attempt, second one, on Donald Trump.
Today's apparent assassination attempt
Apparent.
Increasingly fierce rhetoric on the campaign trail itself. Mr. Trump, his running mate J.D. Vance continue to make baseless claims about Haitian immigrants in Ohio.
Sure, Trump got shot at a second time. Well, the guy didn't get off any shots, but he was prepared to shoot. Sure, a guy parked himself in the bushes, hid, had a GoPro, had a shield up so he himself couldn't be shot. He planned to kill Donald Trump. But did you know that J.D. Vance and Donald Trump are talking about pets in Springfield, Ohio? Let's pay attention to that.
Sunny, warm day, high today 86. It'll be clear this evening, low tonight at 60. And then sunny, nice day tomorrow, the high 81. For tomorrow night, cloudy skies, low 64. Clouds on Wednesday, the high at 79. And then Thursday, another cloudy day, the high at 83. Friday, partly sunny, a warm afternoon, the high on Friday at 85. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text PREPARE to 989898. That's PREPARE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Are you under the impression that a metal roof costs 2 or 3 times more than a shingle roof? No, it doesn't. Hi folks, I'm Dan Tolan, owner of The Metal Roof Company. As your foremost metal roofing authority in Central Ohio, I can promise you it's the most inexpensive roof you'll ever buy because it's the last roof you'll ever buy. With lifetime warranties and a variety of financing options, give us a call at 721-ROOF, 721-ROOF, or reach out to us on the web at themetalroofcompany.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000,
apparently the QC
we
Kinetics
have a
readings are
solution.
bad.
It doesn't matter if you're sitting
we
in your
got
car,
that
at
this
work,
break.
or with your
Okay.
kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6745. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6745. That's 800-575-6745. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Caribbean is calling. Dennis Prager here. Join me on an unforgettable cruise to the Caribbean this November. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. We'll cruise to the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, Turks and Caicos, and much more. Stroll through Curaçao's iconic pastel-colored shops and snorkel in Bonaire's world-class coral reefs. You'll enjoy some of the most delicious cuisine aboard Holland America's Rotterdam, a fantastic destination itself with riveting shows and breathtaking views. We'll be joined by special guest Sean McDowell, and we'll both share fresh insights, current events, discuss happiness and our future in America in light of the election. November 29th to December 8th of this year. Secure your spot today by calling 855-565-5519 or online at pragercruise.com.
You probably haven't hurt yourself lately mowing your lawn, or maybe you have, working on your flower beds. But man, we need some rain. But what you really need is relief from pain. Maybe you don't get it from working on your lawn. Maybe you get it from walking around the neighborhood or exercising or playing golf or playing tennis or riding your bike or whatever it is. But you'd love for that pain to go away. Well, I have a way that you should investigate. A free consultation with the doctors at QC Kinetics. Their clinics in Dublin and Gahanna specialize in getting you out of pain. And they specialize in doing it by allowing your body to do what it's designed to do, only giving your body that assistance that it needs. Sure, your body can heal a cut on your finger, but when you have arthritis pain in a joint, what you need is a little bit more of the natural healing agents in that area. And that's what QC Kinetics does. It withdraws your blood, it separates the healing agent, takes them out, reinserts them at strategic intervals, and the results are phenomenal. So take advantage of the free consultation by calling 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. Well, here is a Wayback Machine piece of tape from Ellen DeGeneres and Kamala Harris when Kamala Harris visited the Ellen DeGeneres show in 2018. Of course, the Democrats bear no responsibility for putting the thought in someone's head that they would try to take a shot at Donald Trump. They're just all talking about him as a fascist, an extremist, a threat to democracy, a dictator. But nobody should take them seriously, right?
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be? Does one of us have to come out alive?
Oh, we got the full Kamala cackle there. Does one of us have to come out alive? What if somebody made that joke about Joe Biden, or somebody made that joke about Kamala Harris? Would it go over as well? Would it be a big guffaw? No, of course it would not, because the rules are different. The rules are totally different. You know it, I know it. They just don't want to acknowledge it. They know it. They take advantage of it. Now, this 58-year-old guy, Ryan Wesley Ruth, is supposed to be in court this morning. His son confirms pretty much everything I've been telling you, that Democrats plant these seeds, that they've gone after Trump in court. They've magnified charges against him. They've changed New York state law. They tried to break him economically. They have persecuted and prosecuted him in 4 different venues. They've got an Obama judge going after him in Washington, D.C. Fani Willis committed more crimes than she investigated, but is she in the crosshairs? No, of course not. And now in the wake of this 58-year-old guy hiding in the bushes at Trump's golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida, laying in wait to hopefully get a pot shot at President Trump and perhaps kill him so he could film it on the GoPro camera that he had affixed to the chain link fence where he was hiding. The Daily Wire reports that the son of the alleged would-be assassin of Donald Trump said Sunday night that his father was trying to be a martyr by killing Donald Trump, who the man said is hated by, and I quote, every reasonable person. Speaking to the Daily Mail, the 35-year-old son of the would-be shooter said his father hates Trump as, quote, every reasonable person does, adding, I don't like Trump either. He continued, I hate this game every 4 years, and I think that we all do. And if my father wants to be a martyr to how broken and disassociated the process has become from the real problems and practical solutions, then that's his choice. I'm not saying that what he's done or what he's about, that's just my own rant being fed up with it all for my entire adult life. Wow. Sounds like a great father, and sounds like the son is a chip off the old block, does it not? the son said his dad is not a violent person. No, he just picked up an AK-47 and hid out and built a shooter's nest and tried to kill a former president and hopefully future president. He says, I've never known him to own a gun or known him to do anything crazy like this. So this will disappear down the memory hole like the attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania did, and like everything that Democrats do. The very fine people hoax, the bloodbath hoax, Trump is a dictator, Trump is a fascist, Trump is an existential threat to democracy. All of it will continue. None of it will change. The media will not fixate on it. Can you imagine? Would we have stopped talking about an attempt on Obama's life 2 months later? How long did the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania, which killed a 50-year-old father, husband, firefighter, churchgoer? Oh, right there, that's the problem. See, he was a faithful, Corey Comparator was a faithful husband, a faithful father, a churchgoer, and a servant of people in his community as a firefighter. He's everything Democrats hate. And you remember the hatred that came toward Corey Comparator and his family. You know, well, you shouldn't even been at the rally. Maybe you support a guy like that, you get what you deserve. When you goad people like this, when you tell half of America that their candidate is someone who, by supporting them, makes you an unfit person to be around, then you will court an environment where these kinds of things happen. And eventually, extremely unfortunately, eventually, someone will attempt to do to someone on the Democratic side of the aisle that up to now has been almost exclusively directed at Republicans. From the congressional shooting at the baseball game where Steve Scalise almost lost his life, to the attempt on Trump's life, to the second attempt on Trump's life. And in no way, shape, or form am I saying that it would be justified for that to happen. I'm saying there's a difference between saying something ludicrous and deranged like, you know, the only way this will stop. Sometimes, you know, people say, well, the only way this will stop, like on the weaponization of the Justice Department, I've heard Republicans, some of them say, the only way this will stop is if this kind of action is directed toward Democrats. No, you don't want that. You don't want to become what you despise. You don't want to become what you despise. So in no way, shape, or form am I saying that there should be what's some call turnabout is fair play. There's a difference between saying it as a recommendation or as a solution to stopping it. There's a clear line between saying that and saying, look, there are a lot of crazy people out there on both sides of the aisle. And if Democrats or Democratic supporters who are crazy are motivated to do these kinds of things by the heated rhetoric, then eventually there will be an attempt on a Democrat's life because Democrats don't have the exclusive hold on crazy. And if you continue to, as I said, disparage Trump, demonize Trump, diminish Trump, if you continue to do that and the people who follow him, then someone who does not have a hold on reality will be pushed too far and they will respond in kind. And this is really problematic, really dangerous, really unnecessary, but the Democrats did not back off on their rhetoric about Trump in the aftermath of July the 13th. And so we get what we got yesterday.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The man suspected in yesterday's assassination attempt targeting former President Trump has been charged with federal gun crimes. Ryan Ruth facing charges of possessing a firearm despite being a convicted felon and possessing a firearm with an obliterated serial number. He appeared briefly a short time ago in federal court in West Palm Beach, Florida. Additional and more serious charges are possible. The investigation continues and prosecutors seek an indictment from a grand jury. Weather could get dicey today along the coastal Carolinas. A storm system loitering off the coast of South Carolina could develop into a tropical storm. Tropical storm warnings extending for a large stretch of the Atlantic coastline of the Carolinas. And watching Wall Street, stocks remain mixed, with the Dow up 65 points, the Nasdaq trading 129 points lower. More details, srnnews.com.
Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885 News.
Opinion. Passion. Here, 98.9 FM. The Answer. Anywhere you go. With The Answer's mobile app at 989theanswer.com. Also on your smart speakers. Tune in or iHeart.
Car payments, credit card payments, home loans. Man, that's a lot of debt for you to carry. Let us help you get caught up when you enter the $18,000 Get Caught Up sweepstakes. The grand prize winner gets up to $10,000 in debt relief. 3 first prize winners will get up to $1,000 in debt relief, and 10 second prize winners will get $500 in debt relief. That's $18,000 total, and that could be you.
Enter the Get Caught Up sweepstakes at 989theanswer.com.
Sebastian Gorka here. In light of recent events, we Americans need to have our heads on a swivel, not just with our personal security, but with the security of our most valuable financial assets. I'm talking about your home title and hard-earned equity. That's why I want to tell you about Equity Protect. They're the only company that completely stops cyber criminals from stealing your title, property, and equity. Most title lock companies only monitor your title for changes. Equity Protect completely stops these financial crimes from happening to you. If you own your home, mortgage-free, or have high equity, you need Equity Protect. Equity Protect is offering a magnificent deal for my amazing listeners. 30% off your first year. Go to equityprotect.com/Gorka and use the discount code GORKA30. Remember, once you have Equity Protect, you don't even need to check. I trust Equity Protect. You should too.
Even before your alarm clock goes off, he's already hit the ground, running and ready to tell you what's going on in the world you're waking up to. He's Hugh Hewitt, weekday mornings from 6 to 9 on your station for news, opinion, and passion. 98.9 FM, The Answer.
If you have interest in new flooring, well, get in line. I got a lot of people who are interested. I had a gentleman I talked to this morning who lives out in the Newark area. Looking forward to commiserating with him. If you would like flooring, carpet, LVP, luxury vinyl plank, looks like tile, looks like wood, performs fantastic, can't scratch it, waterproof, very indestructible, then go to brucehooley.com and click on flooring, and I will get your information. I will reach out. We'll schedule a time. I'll get together with you. You don't have to worry about the fact that, oh, do you not sell all the big name brands? No, of course we do. Do you put it in yourself, or do you hire your installers? And what if something happens? First of all, nothing will happen that will be bad, because we do have our own installers and they are fantastic. We get compliments on them all the time. Can we save you money? Yes, of course. Well, you're smaller. Yes, we are smaller. So we don't have multiple layers of management. We don't have fancy vehicles. We're a nimble operation, and we can save you money and get your product installed sooner. Enjoy it yourself rather than beautify your home for someone else. BruceHooley.com. Click flooring in the upper right-hand corner of the page. Our number on the Bruce Hooley Show is 844-TALK-989, 844-TALK-989. Al in Columbus making use of it. Al would like to weigh in, I guess, on the Trump assassination attempt. Am I correct, Al? Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. That's what I endeavor to do. I don't know that I do it perfectly all the time, but it's certainly what I try to do.
Make of the fact that it seems to be Republican candidates being, violence happening against them, whereas you don't see the same type of violence against Democrats.
Well, I think when Republicans talk about Kamala Harris and talk about Joe Biden, they talk about performance in office, they talk about policies, they talk about inconsistencies in things they've said. I think when Democrats talk about Republicans, it's charged with vitriol. It's, fascist, dictator, threat to democracy, hatred.
Yeah, it sounds like you more or less kind of have the idea of it. I do worry that you're sort of simplifying it a little bit, and it is a little bit more complex than that. I'm not sure that you're seeing the full picture of what it is that's happening, but I think more or less you're kind of halfway there.
Okay, so fill in the other half for me from your perspective.
Well, I mean, it's not even from my perspective. It's just the reality of the facts of it. And again, I'm not trying to attack you or anything. I think you've done quite well here. You've got, 50, 60% of it, and I think that's real good. But to have the totality of it, and, it's not the surface level, not be looking at it at a surface level, be digging a little bit deeper on that. I think that's important. We're doing too much surface level thinking nowadays, and I think you're a little guilty of that at the moment, Bruce.
Well, I would say that I'm not going to say that I'm not guilty of it. I'm going to say that I think part of what. Okay. So let me try to address your issue. What I was going to say was, I think that one of the reasons why we go down this road where Democrats continually harp on the fact that Republicans are threats to democracy. Donald Trump was president and he left office. Okay. If he were a threat to democracy, did he ever order the military to come in and keep him in office? And I know you're going to sit there and you're going to say, well, January 6th. The election was certified on the evening of January 6th. It was delayed. I condemned January 6th. The moment I saw it on TV, I said, this was terrible. It shouldn't happen in American politics. But one of the reasons why Democrats can get away with making it personal and with exaggeration is because they're not held accountable by the people who are supposed to hold them accountable. And I'm not talking about people in their own party. I'm talking about the media, about the opinion shapers. If you go back, and it's not hard to go back and find when Joe Biden ran for president in the 1980s, and he was caught in multiple lies about his own academic record and his own academic achievements and things like that, you will find ample news commentators at the time on all the major networks saying that this is ridiculous. Sam Donaldson and Harry Reasoner and other people say, this is ridiculous. His campaign's over. You can't trust this guy. But Joe Biden has not changed. He's always been a serial liar. He's just, what's changed is he's allowed to get away with it. Kamala Harris, she's gone, 60 days, 60 plus days as the Democratic nominee? Is anyone in the media continually ramping up the accountability on her not answering questions? And again, I go back to this every single time. It's not that I'm trying to stick up for the media getting access to her. I'm trying to stand up for the fact that if you want to run for president of the United States, if you want to be commander in chief, then you need to address the American people. And you don't address the American people like Democrats think you do, which is reading off a teleprompter at rallies. You address the American people by going in front of any and every interviewer so that you can reach as mass an audience as possible, so you have an informed electorate on election day. When I hear Bill Maher, who's, supposed to be a pretty well-versed Democrat, when I hear Keith Olbermann, who purports to be smart, but he's really a moron, when I hear them say, and when I hear Kamala Harris say that police officers were killed in the January 6th attacks, that's just not true. Now, if you want to say police officers were attacked on January the 6th and were under such stress that they had heart attacks in the night and died on January 7th, that's an accurate statement. Say what is accurate. But Bill Maher said there were cops, plural, who died on January 6th. No, there weren't. No, there weren't. He has a big platform. He's responsible for being accurate with his platform, but he's not, because he's a partisan. You cannot possibly be trying to be objective if you watch David Muir and Lindsey Davis the other night moderate that debate and tell me that that debate was moderated fairly. There's a lot of stuff out there right now circulating in the news about whether this was a planned, purposeful stacking of the deck against Donald Trump in this debate. I'm trying to stick to what people are willing to put their names on rather than things that are out there on the internet where it's very easy to get played. Okay. So I've played cuts on this show before from a guy by the name of Mark Penn. Mark Penn is a former Clinton operative. Mark Penn is on Fox News a lot. I've talked before about how Mark Penn is a pretty reasonable guy. He's an honest broker. Mark Penn went on a podcast with John Solomon, who's a very good, very down-the-middle reporter. Mark Penn, Thursday, called on ABC to launch a formal internal investigation into the news division's planning and execution of the presidential debate. So Mark Penn's willing to put his name on this. I know there's an affidavit out there from somebody who supposedly worked at ABC News and before the debate went before a notary and testified about questions and what Kamala Harris's team insisted on, all that. Their name is not known. I'm not going to give details on what they allege. But if Mark Penn is willing to put his professional reputation on the line, is willing to put his name out there, saying, I actually think they should do a full internal investigation. I don't know how much of this was planned in advance. I don't know what they told the Harris campaign. I think the day after, suspicion here is really quite high. I think a review of all their internal texts and emails should really be done by an independent party to find out what extent they were planning on, in effect, fact checking just one candidate and in effect rigging the outcome of this debate. I think the situation demands nothing less than that. That's a Democratic pollster. That's a Democratic pollster. He's doing his job. He's realizing that the bigger picture is that the American people are informed and that the news, in this case, ABC, needs to be transparent about how it did this debate. He is rare. You go across the news division, you look at NBC, Lester Holt talking about, they're an apparent second attempt on Donald Trump's life. If there's a guy in the bushes with an AK-47 and he's pointing it through a chain link fence and he has ceramic barricades on the fence so he doesn't get shot and he has a GoPro to film it, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that's not an apparent second assassination attempt. That's an attempt. Okay? But they have to say, it's an apparent assassination attempt. Meanwhile, Springfield, pets, no credible reports. Well, are residents from Springfield saying that geese in the park and ducks in the park are being killed and carried away by Haitians? Is that a credible report? Now, you can say they're wrong, but that's not J.D. Vance saying that. J.D. Vance is relaying what residents of Springfield, Ohio are saying. And then the newscasters say, no credible reports. The city manager, no credible reports. Okay, I hope your voters remember that when the national news came calling about what's going on in Springfield, you said to your voters, they are not credible. Their own life experiences are not credible. That's what you said, Springfield mayor, Springfield city manager, and oh, by the way, Governor Mike DeWine. How many people in Springfield, Ohio have voted for Mike DeWine in his career? He's out of Greene County. He's out of Cedarville. He's like 30 miles from Springfield. They probably propped up his sorry little butt for governor, senator, congressman, county prosecutor, and everything else that he's ever been. But Mike DeWine says they're not credible. The media is going, we got pets, okay, so we can neuter everything that's said. This is what happens when the media doesn't do its job.
This afternoon, mostly sunny, warm day, high today 86. It'll be clear this evening, low tonight at 60, and then sunny, nice.
I think what we're finding out is not from this area, which of course raises the bigger question is, how does a guy from not here all the way to Harvard to Trump International
partly sunny, warm
realize that
high on Friday
President, former President of the United
85.
States is
I'm
gone
Steve Williams
and
on
is able to get a
98.9
rifle
FM. The
in that
answer.
facility. I think that's a question the FBI, Secret Service,
Sorry about that. I didn't know he was just going to come on the troll.
No, I figured he was from the very beginning. I knew what he was doing. Yeah.
Well, he was trying really, really hard to get back on.
Yeah, that's right.
Calling over and over with 2 different phone numbers.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
Just to come on and say, well, you're not quite right, and then not give him.
Well, he never would say what I'm wrong on.
Well,
that's what I wanted to know. I wanted to know his perspective.
Yeah, and that's the strategy.
Yeah.
Is you're wrong.
You're wrong,
Well,
but
you're
don't tell me how.
It's like, yeah, you're wrong because I said you're wrong.
Yeah.
I'm right.
Yeah.
Just think about it. Let's say he got down there, attempted assassination, nobody sees him, he gets away. Actually, he would have gotten away with being saw. And they'd still be looking for him now. They'd first be doing fingerprints, all the things that we do, and then we would have to find them. So, yeah, that witness.
Come on. Why won't this fast forward?
Situations in Warren County, maybe it's history with this suspect, the sheriff. What's going through your mind saying, hey, this is actually happening in our county right now?
Oh, what's going through my mind as sheriff as we made this stop is that this is a once in a career, it's a once in a lifetime event. And how many people get shot off with the former president of the United States? I mean, the poor guy's already been shot once. And then for that suspect to come into this county, I already had somebody asked me, does it feel like really takes on a very laser focus to Trump at the end of the tag, and he was just gonna took a picture of him. He was smart. He was just team. And
Do you know roughly where the deputy sort of spotted the vehicle?
A peace of mind. He's invited the men and women that were involved in the stop to go to Mar-a-Lago and be thankful for what they did. I just have to stress that the credit goes to those.
To 94878.
Hey.
Connect, grow, and be blessed.
Hi, everyone. If you've been injured in an accident that was not your fault, listen up.
It's okay.
We have
It's okay.
medical professionals standing by to answer your questions for free. Call now and find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-504-8790. I'm here with spokesman John Wolf. So, John, tell everyone listening who should call right now.
Well, Maria, first off, thank you for having me here. It's always nice to answer the listeners' questions. Now, as far as who should call in, anyone who's been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, give us a call right now. 800-504-8790. You'll find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth.
Thanks, John. You heard it, folks. Take advantage of this opportunity and call now. 800-504-8790.
Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center, may not be available in all states.
Had some people come up to me at church on Sunday, Scott and Caroline, say, hey, we're coming to the Battleground Talkers Tour on October the 22nd. And I hope you're all coming because tickets are only $5, general admission. Go buy them at 9890answer.com. I'll be there welcoming you. Our own Jack Windsor, host of the Windsor Report, will be on stage with some of your favorite Salem Radio Network hosts, Larry Elder and Mike Gallagher and Hugh Hewitt as well. What will they be talking about? Well, the upcoming presidential election, of course, will be like 2 weeks out from that. We'll have other political candidates. Well, not other, because none of those guys are running for office, but we'll have political candidates there who would love to interact with you and love to inform you on the issues. This is a very consequential election, so be informed and join us. If you'd like a VIP ticket, which gets you food and a meet and greet with the people who will be on stage, use the promo code Bruce25 at checkout. Where's checkout? It's at 9890answer.com. Bruce25 for VIP tickets, $25 off, and general admission tickets, $5 at 9890answer.com. So they're holding a press conference in West Palm Beach, Florida. Here is Will Snyder, the Martin County Sheriff. Let's take a little bit of this, see if we get any new information on the knucklehead who tried to lay in wait for Donald Trump yesterday outside his golf club in West Palm Beach, Florida.
Yeah, we originally picked the vehicle up somewhere around the Palm City exit, so that would be 714, and it took us about 2 miles to get all the resources in play so we could surround that vehicle and force it to a stop.
How was he driving when your deputy saw him?
How was he driving when we saw him? He was smart. He was just driving with the flow of traffic. Yeah, I think that he may have thought he got away with it. Of course, he couldn't have known that there was a witness who really did the right thing and took a picture of him, took a picture of the tag, and he may have thought he got away with it. Of course, he couldn't have known that there was a witness who really did the right thing and took a picture of him, took a picture of the tag, and he was just going to drive himself back to wherever he came from.
Did he have any, to your knowledge, any ties to Martin County or the Treasure Coast?
Yeah, to my knowledge, does he have any ties to Martin County? I think the answer, to my knowledge, the answer is no. I have no knowledge. I think what we're finding out, he's not from this area, which of course raises the bigger question: is how does a guy from not here get all the way to Trump International, realize that the president, former president of the United States, is golfing and is able to get a rifle in that vicinity? I think that's the question the FBI, the Secret Service are laser focused on today. Is this guy part of a conspiracy? Is he a lone gunman? If he's a lone gunman, President Trump is that much safer because we have him. But if he's part of a conspiracy, then this whole thing really takes on a very ominous tone.
That's well said. Secret Service. So don't worry. Secret Service and FBI are on it. We'll get answers, 2027 probably? That's when we'll get answers on this. But Donald Trump is safe. He will not back off. He said yesterday, I will never stop fighting, and he won't. And look, I've said before, he was not my candidate in the primaries, but this is not a choice of perfect and imperfect. This is a choice of better and terrible. And Donald Trump is by far the better choice. His policies are proven. Joe Biden's policies are proven disastrous. Kamala Harris is a carbon copy or further left, even Democrats admit that, of Joe Biden. Bernie Sanders told you last Sunday on Meet the Press, she hasn't abandoned her positions. She said, my values are the same. Sanders said, she's saying what she needs to say to get elected. She's lying to you about who she is and what she plans. And if you're not paying attention, and if Republicans don't get control of either the Senate or the House, should Kamala Harris win, we will never again have the country that our founders built for us. Oh, you sound like the threat to democracy. Hey, I'm just quoting them when they talk about taking away freedom of speech and one man's socialism being another man's neighborliness and mandatory gun buybacks, which would undo the Second Amendment. And no, I don't take the word of an unnamed surrogate saying, well, that's not her position anymore. Or name surrogates like John Carl of ABC or Jake Tapper of CNN. She's on the record saying these things. On the record saying them. And we have no reason to believe she has changed her mind at all, other than vibes and joy. I can spot a phony a mile away, and so can you. And all you have to do is listen to her if she's stupid enough, which I can't believe I just said that. Of course she's stupid enough. I should have said, if her handlers are stupid enough to put her back out there in an interview setting. You might have missed it over the weekend, but she did an interview with a Philadelphia television reporter, okay? So this Philadelphia television reporter got 4 or 5 minutes with her sitting down. And she whiffed and refused to answer the first question at the debate about, are Americans better off now than they were 4 years ago when you took office? She wouldn't answer it. Trump also whiffed on that fastball in the wheelhouse. But you would think, okay, I bombed that question and I got away with it. The next time somebody asks me that question, or what am I going to do to bring down inflation, or what am I going to do to bring down prices? Brother, I'm going to knock it out of the park. Listen to her answer when this Philadelphia television reporter poses this question to her. I think this was Saturday.
when we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid.
No, you didn't. No, you did not grow up a middle-class kid. And that is not one or two things you will do to bring down prices. Your parents were both PhDs. You were not a middle-class kid. You are lying. And you are obfuscating. And you are stalling because you don't have an answer.
My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard.
Irrelevant.
Save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, construction workers and nurses and teachers. And I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, but a lot of people will relate to this. I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
Oh, isn't that charming? She grew up in a neighborhood where people took care of their lawn. So did I. I grew up a middle-class kid of two factory workers with a father who had no fingers on his right hand from a farming accident. Another middle-class job, not two PhDs. She's vapid and stupid. And I will say it again. She's not stupid because she's black, and she's not stupid because she's a woman. She's stupid on her own.
And I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity.
Oh.
And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. We have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions.
Ambitions, aspirations, and dreams. The same three-lie nonsense she parroted out in her first answer at the debate.
So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business.
Word salad, word salad, word salad. Lawns, dreams, aspirations, realities, opportunity economy, dreamers. I'm into that. I'll fix inflation by bringing prices down. How? I don't have an answer to that question. I didn't have an answer in the debate. I don't have an answer now. I don't have an answer because I'm stupid, because I don't understand economics. You mean if I don't just give money away and break ties on the Inflation Reduction Act and give money away to green energy Democratic donors, that won't fix inflation? You mean that really doesn't work? No, it really doesn't work, fool.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word PREPARE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text PREPARE to 989898. That's PREPARE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
All right, that'll do it for us. If you want to hear about the ratings of Columbus City schools in the state report card, you'll have to flip over to the Bruce Hooley Show Facebook page or the 9890 Answer Facebook page, because we'll get into that next. And we'll have more on Kamala Harris's interview over the weekend. It's hey, I mean, if you don't have any money for lunch, you can have a Kamala Harris word salad. Hopefully you bring your own salad dressing, because there's nothing in her word salads that tastes good or makes sense.
The officials identified the